Right. Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Hogarth's Global Astrology. Know your planets, know yourself, or know your nation. Know yourself. The two are interchangeable. And I must say, I've had a lot of trouble trying to start this recording. Something weird is going on in StreamYard. Anyway, so what's this video about? Look, the news is rolling in. There it is on the background there, and you can see there it says Trump elected president. Yeah, so let me just switch that off there. And I wanted to know what's the time? The time here it's 11:55 p.m. Wow, okay, 11:55 p.m. UK, and in the United States, New York time, it is 6:55 a.m. So, you know, many of you will be waking up to this news if you didn't stay up already. I've been up since 4 a.m. So I've been watching everything. Well, I went to bed early. I wasn't really able to sleep so well. Anyway, so we have the reality. Yeah, we have the reality of what has happened. And what I want to do is, even though it, it is still a bit raw for people, a lot of you will be waking up to the news perhaps when you see this video. But I want to look in at Trump's chart again and take a look at why he won. Yeah. Now, as you will know, I held off, didn't I? I held off for the longest that I could on my predictions, and I did an unusual technique where I looked at the USA's chart. Oh, that's sorry. Let me just put my phone on silent, because obviously everyone is starting to react to the news in America. Anyway, and I did that comparison. Remember, I did that four-way comparison with the USA chart, looking at the vice presidents, looking at Kamala, looking at Tim, looking at JD Vance, looking at Trump. And what I did was I added the tickets. I added their numbers together. So I did JD Vance's numbers and Trump's numbers, added them together, and then I did Kamala's numbers and Tim Walz's numbers, added them together. And the Tim Walz and the Kamala ticket technically had more. However, when I look back, the thing that was the most important, of course, was just comparing the two candidates' charts scores on their own. And you guys would have seen Trump does have an incredibly powerful chart, which I said at the time, very, very sticky chart, very much closely aligned with the USA chart, with I think 5 exact conjunctions. And I think Kamala had 3, but she had 2 on the ascendant and had a bit of influence over the other 8 planets. So overall, her score was still good. But in terms of the tightest fit, the tightest one was Duck Larange's chart, which I said at the time. And I said, whoever wins Pennsylvania will win the presidency. And as you know, look, these things are very difficult, because as you can imagine, look, most of the audiences watching these channels and stuff like that are essentially Democrat. They are. And it's understandably so. And of course, people don't want to hear it if you say that a certain someone, if a Duck Larange, even stands a chance. I've already had a lot of criticism as well in the comments from people when I said if Kamala wins. And I've always said if. Because at the end of the day, now, as you guys know, what have I been saying for the longest time? I've been saying Pluto is in sidereal Capricorn. And this really matters. As you know, I have labored this point on and on and on. And I know a lot of people have got tired of me saying it. But the reason why I've kept on repeating this is because it's true. And what is Pluto? Pluto deals with what? He's the god of the underworld. He's the underbelly. Yeah, the dark-ish that is coming up. Capricorn is the sign of government, big business, stuff like that. And what I said is when Pluto goes through Capricorn, he's bringing up all of this stuff for us to look at. And I've spoken at length as well about the billionaires that are in support of Trump and who are putting their efforts behind them. I've spoken as well about the media, the biased nature of the media, and the lack of accurate reporting. And even though his K2 dasher, was obviously the most dangerous one. And I said Venus will decide the election because it did depend on women. But I said she needed all of the female vote and she needed the independents. And it looks like she didn't get enough of the female vote. In the end, it wasn't enough. There were more than enough women that still voted with Trump, which may shock a lot of you. Let me just straighten up my cap here. But it is the truth, and the exit polling was indicating that as well. And so I want to go back over some old points that I made from a while ago, where I was talking about the situation in the Middle East. And what I want to say is this. On my channel, I want to feel more free to say what I really feel. Yeah. I want to feel more free to say what I really feel. And many times I've said things and I've been criticized for those things in the comments, or people said to me, well, this person said this. No, that's rubbish. No, that's not going to happen. Blah, blah, blah. Why are you saying if? She's going to win. She's going to win. It's nailed on. You're messing up the energy, all of this kind of stuff. But as you know, I do sidereal Vedic astrology, and I'm a Neo-Vedic astrologer. And Vedic astrology, it is more accurate. It is, because it's looking at the placement of the stars. And Trump does have a very powerful chart. And it seems like his ascendant and Mars being in his first house conjunct the star Regulus was enough to do it, because, and it's looking like, what is even more remarkable, it's looking like he may win the popular vote and the House and the Senate, which I can imagine for many of you who, especially those who are Democrats, you'll find this devastating. Yeah. And I understand that it is it will be devastating for many people. But as I said, whoever wins, it will change the fate of America. And America has decided. One of the things that I found interesting was that his Latin vote also held up as well. So the Madison Square Garden thing didn't make as much impact as people thought. I think it made some impact, but it wasn't enough to kind of change the zeitgeist. And also as well, the guy Lickman, he said he has his keys. He said that they would hold up. Remember, he was adamant. I even quoted him in my video, and I said I hope that he's right. However, when I was because he said how all the records and stuff go back. However, what his data doesn't cover is a Pluto return, which is what this is what America is having. And it became precise in February, around about the 20th of February. 20th of February 2024, this year. Yeah. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get up Trump's chart, and we're going to look at Kamala's chart as well, because what I didn't do, and I realized what I probably should have done on reflection, was just compare Kamala directly with Trump, directly in that way. But I can already remember off the top of my head, his chart was the stronger chart. So let's look at this. Because, you know, it's going to be very, very interesting. Yeah. The next few years are going to be very, very interesting. You've also heard me talk about the Great Awakening as well. Yeah, you've heard me talk about this. And I said with Great Awakenings, they are rarely pleasant. Yeah, rarely are they pleasant. So we're going to look at that as well. But first of all, let me share my screen with you, and let's get up Dr. Larange's chart. And then we'll look at Kamala's chart again, and then I will compare the two. Yeah, which is the thing that I didn't do, because what I did, I combined Trump with Vance, who had the weakest chart, and I combined Kamala with Waltz, who also had a very strong chart. And I said, if Kamala wins, then it's because of Waltz's chart, and if Trump loses, it's because of Vance's chart. But of all the charts, Trump was the closest one to the USA. So let's just look at this. And I know people will be licking their wounds, but we need to have this conversation. We also need to talk about things like the economy as well and stuff like that, as you've heard me say before. And I've not felt I've been able to be as candid on these things as I would like. But you heard me, what I said with the prices. I said a lot of Americans are hurting, and that inflation has been an absolute killer. Another factor as well, of course, has been the war in the Middle East. You also remember me saying, I said the students are not happy about this. Kamala cannot guarantee that she's got their support, and I think that's borne out as well. So even though there is the Roe versus Wade issue, which in many ways should have carried her over, I think it was the economy and immigration that did it in the end. Yeah, did it for Duck L'Orange. So that needs to be discussed as well. There are many things that I would like to discuss as well. What happened over the pandemic, which I feel I've not been able to say either. Yeah. So in private conversations, you know, can I say I'm shocked? No, I'm not shocked. Because of those factors that I spoke about, that Pluto return. But anyway, look, let's go back into the charts and let's have a look and let's see exactly why Duck L'Orange won. So if I just do a presentation here, and then we'll look at Kamala Harris's chart. And I understand if this is painful for people, but this is the reality now. When I last checked, he had, 276 with the other ones going his way, but he's already passed the line. Even if everything else went blue, which is looking like it's not, Alaska's not going to go blue, is it? So let's do present. Oh, you know what? There's something weird going on with the, oh, mother. I'd have to tell you, there's something strange going on with the tabs. The buttons here are not quite working on StreamYard, but I seem to have been able to get the share feature here. I may not even be able to end the show. Let's just see here. Let's go up here and let's get Trump's chart up. So here we go. Here we go. Let me just move this off a little bit to the side so I can see myself. All right. And let's go here. Let's go this way. And one of the things as well is, you know, with the polling and stuff like that, listen, people lie in polls. Yeah. People don't tell the truth in polls. And I think when it comes to just the polls in general and stuff like that, whatever system America's got, it needs scrapping. Yeah. It needs scrapping. It was kind of close, but they don't capture the zeitgeist. Yeah, don't capture the zeitgeist. When we did the polls in the UK, they were very accurate. The Tories knew that they were going to lose. They were done. They were absolutely done. But as you know, I'm no fan of Sir Keir Starmer, and Labour have hardly covered themselves in glory. And I think it could be Kemi Badenoch. That could be, in fact, the next leader of the UK. But that's a whole different thing, just based on the trends where the energy is going. So here we are. Here's Duck L'Orange's chart. Yep, 14th of June, 1946, 10:54, born in Jamaica, New York. Now, this is one of the most important things. And in many ways, this is what did it. And you've heard me mention this a lot. His rising sign is Leo. Yeah, not Virgo as he would be put in the West, Leo. And it's at 6 degrees 51 minutes. Leo is the sign of what? Leadership. Yeah, leadership. If we look here, his Mars is very close to his ascendant. His Mars is at 3 degrees 40 minutes. 40 minutes. Anyone with Mars in the first house has a lot of energy. Yeah, a lot of energy, a lot of chutzpah. Mars is what? The planet of war and conflict. He is in the sign of Leo, which belongs to his friend, the sun. So you've heard me say before, who are the friends in astrology? Sun, Moon, Jupiter, and Mars are all friends, and they all do well in each other's signs. However, Mars technically debilitates in the sign of Cancer, which belongs to his good friend, the Moon. He's debilitated, pardon me, yet delighted. Yeah. Who are the other friends? Saturn, Mercury, and Venus. They are the planets of business. They deal with the nitty-gritty of things here on Earth school. Venus technically debilitates in the sign of Virgo. She's delighted as well, but not as delighted as Mars. But the point is this. His Mars is very powerfully on the ascendant, but it's not only that. It is conjunct the star Regulus, which goes from what? 4 to 6 degrees of sidereal Leo, which you've heard me talk about ad nauseum. The star Regulus is said to have the energy of Jupiter and Mars. And I've said before, obviously all of us do so many videos, but I said whenever you have Jupiter or Mars conjunct that star, that planet becomes 100 times more powerful. Yeah, 100 times more powerful. And that is the case with Doerr. You know, fortunate for me, I've got Jupiter conjunct Regulus, and you know that's made my Jupiter powerful as well. But you know, there you are. But this is how it's described, and it's what I actually put in my book. So if we look here, let's just find here. So here, Regulus sits in the nakshatra called Magha. Yeah, Magha, which is spelt Magha, and you've heard me say before, yeah, what happens when you drop the H? Yeah, you get Magha. Yeah, virtually the same thing. And sometimes things can be that literal, but basically this is a very, very powerful aspect here. Now it looks like Venus indeed did actually help out Doerr, but I think it's more to do with Jupiter. Yeah, I think it's more to do with Jupiter in a way, because Tim Waltz and J.D. Vance are both in the Saturn Dasher, which I thought might actually help out Tim Waltz, because he's also, along with Kamala, having his Saturn return. Kamala's Dasha is in the same Dasha as the United States, which is Rahu. Yeah, so I thought, oh, Rahu may give her the edge. However, if we look here where it says TR, Jupiter is going through Trump's 10th house. Yeah. And retrograde Uranus is also in his 10th house as well. And Trump is, as you can see here, he is in his Jupiter Dasha. And do you remember I said it is a lucky Dasha? It is lucky. And I said it also means he gets helped out from the judiciary, which, of course, I've proven my point on that. I've been saying that for ages, you know, ages ago. I've been saying that the judiciary would help him out. And I think that has broadly proven to be true. And of course, they're going to help him out again now that he's president, isn't he? Yeah, all of those cases, they're going to be quashed, aren't they? We all know where that's going. Trump's not going to put himself through trial and prison. That's all just, yeah, gone. So it looks like, though, that this transit here of Jupiter through Trump's 10th house really has given him a major boon, and he is in the Dasha of that planet. Yeah. For all Leo rising people, Venus rules the 3rd house of communication, but she also rules the 10th house, yeah, via Taurus. Now remember, look, you got to remember Trump's sun sign is Taurus. Remember, in Western tropical, they say he's in Gemini, but he's not. He's in the last day of Taurus. So this action here was of a strong activation on his 10th house. Also, as well, if we look here, Jupiter is aspecting Jupiter, because Jupiter looks 5 places from himself, 7 places from himself, and 9 places from himself, and that's called the trine. So if we superimpose Jupiter here and count around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah, aspecting himself. 5, 6, 7, aspecting the moon. 7, 8, 9, aspecting his 6th house. So really, Jupiter has given Duck L'Orange an extra boost, just like it did when he was up against Hillary. Yeah, his chart was much stronger than Hillary's chart in any case, and many of the Vedic astrologers actually predicted then that he would win. Many of the Vedic astrologers have predicted that Trump would win this time, and of course they've been proven correct. As you saw, I was just like, well, you know, when I add up both the charts of the vice presidents with the main candidates, then the Tim Walz Kamala Harris had the stronger number. But what I should have also done, now that I reflect on it, I should have just done Trump, Kamala, just side by side, looking at their charts. In a way, I sort of did, but I didn't strip out the vice presidents, which turned out to be not significant in terms of the outcome. Yeah, just like how they've said in previous elections, it doesn't seem the vice president does matter that much after all. Yeah, otherwise we wouldn't have the result that we have. So there's that. So there's this strong aspect here from Jupiter. Venus at the moment is right on top of Trump's moon. Now Venus does sit in the 12th house, which is associated with losses. Yeah, which is associated with losses. However, it seems that in this case, it didn't quite manifest. It didn't quite manifest. Maybe indeed it was a boon to have Venus right on his moon at the time of the elections. Yeah, and he's also as well by transit, Mercury is there as well. But let's just compare Trump's chart again with the USA chart, which is what I did before, where I was showing that stickiness there. And do you remember I said his chart is very powerful? Yeah, because what it is, the one that has the closest matching chart to whatever nation it is that they're trying to become the leader of usually wins. So let's look at that. Let's look at that. So let's do the compatibility. Let's do the compatibility. And then here we are. We'll just open that and then we'll go to the Declaration of Independence chart. And I think something very interesting happened, which is that they obviously got out the male vote. Yeah, which is something that I mentioned in my prediction. And beforehand, I said, look how many of the young male voters in particular are moving towards the Republicans. I said, look, well, I won't get into it now. This might be something we need to talk about post-election, because I didn't want to, take us too much down that rabbit hole. But I could see, that it was going to be significant, which is why I mentioned it. We are going to have that conversation now. And we are going to have that conversation. So let's just open up here. So here is Duck L'Orange in blue in the outer ring. And here is the United States Declaration of Independence chart. Now, let me just squeeze this up a little bit this way. 1 minute. Squeeze this up. There we are. Let's go in like this. Let's go across a bit like this. And then let's just bring it down a bit. Like this. There we are, so we can see it more. Right, as I said before, the only one to actually equal the chart in terms of strength was J.D. Vance. Not J.D. Vance, was Tim Walz. But look at his total point score for the Sun with Donald Trump, 25. A score of 17 or more is extremely good. Yeah, very good. Kamala got 21. Yeah, so still strong, but not as strong as Duck L'Orange's chart. But the real clincher here is not only the planets that he's been able to influence, it's some of the exact alignments that he has with the USA chart. And as I And I did say in my prediction, I said, look, he is a strong reflection of America. So if we look here, if we go here, here's his Jupiter. His Jupiter is exactly on the Saturn of the USA chart. Exactly, as I said before, look, his Jupiter is at 24 degrees 20 minutes, and Saturn's in the USA chart is at 24 degrees 4 minutes. But let's not forget, he's in Jupiter's dasher, and transiting Jupiter is aspecting Jupiter. So this Jupiter in his natal chart was being directly aspected by transiting Jupiter coming from the 10th house, which deals with career, yeah, name and fame. So you can see here really, and this is maybe something that I should have focused on a little bit more, was reminding you all, but also reminding myself just how powerful the influence of Jupiter is in his chart. But then, of course, you know, we all look at the poles, etc. It was showing it's so close, and I said, yeah. But anyway, we see here he also has Neptune with Neptune. If we look here, his Pluto is right on the Rahu of the United States. Rahu deals with what? The manifest destiny of a nation, of a person. And his Pluto's right there. And I said, you guys will remember me saying, I said he has this dark vision, which is very seductive, very seductive. I have mentioned before as well, I said the seduction element of Duck L'Orange is very much overlooked. But remember as well, what is Pluto also dealing with? Where is America? America is in a Pluto return. But remember, Pluto also represents the oligarchy, the billionaires. So there you are, you know, he's got Elon Musk on his side, you know, one of the most powerful platforms to be able to kind of change the algorithms or whatever, put all his way. So if we look here, exact direct hit there, hit here anyway, because his Neptune is almost with the Neptune of the United States chart. Well, they're in the same sign. But exact hit on there, look, exact hit with his Saturn and Mercury, or his Saturn and Venus on the Mercury of the United States. This is when I was talking about his, you know, gift of the gab and his social media presence and all of this stuff. Why, when he speaks, it resonates. And then if we look here, his Mercury is right on the Jupiter of the United States. Again, I'm covering old ground, what I said before, but it's worth repeating. And that's when I was talking again about what? Saturn, Mercury, and Venus are planets of business. So one of his strengths, even though it's not necessarily true, but a lot of people remember him from The Apprentice and all of this stuff, that really did cut through with Americans. It's an exact hit. And then the Sun and Rahu in his chart is really right on the Mars of the USA. Now, Kamala also had this. She also had this, but overall her chart wasn't as strong when you compare the one with the other. Yeah. So when we look at that, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 extremely close placements. But then when you look at the influence, because remember in the video that I did, I even miscounted because I thought he had 8, and then I corrected myself that it was I think it was 9. So anyway, let's just look here. So we've got planets that are under influence: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 9. Yeah, 9. And Uranus. Now, remember what I said. Uranus is what? The planet of sudden shocks and surprises. Expect the unexpected. So often what happens with Uranus is that when you're expecting it to go one way, what does he do? He gives you the opposite. Uranus was also the planet, as you've heard me say in the past, responsible for Brexit, yeah, and Donald Trump being voted president in the first place, and he's done this. He's done it again because Jupiter and Uranus are both going through Trump's 10th house right now. So if I go back here to the main screen, and again, I know people don't want to hear this, but there it is. Yeah, TR means transits. This is where the planets are right now, and you can see here there is Uranus retrograde right on the star Algol. which can be what? The start of treachery, of betrayal. I thought it was that, you know, he might obviously, you know, he was making it clear that he was going to cheat, but looks like he hasn't even had to. So I think there might be a lot of people feeling quite betrayed right now, probably by their fellow countrymen. Yeah, I would strongly suspect. But he's got a lot of votes. No one can say that they didn't know what Trump was about. Yeah, everyone's had a long time to get to know him. And maybe it seems that entertainment and controversy and being bombastic and being nasty, that seems to be the politics that wins. And again, pardon me, it's that Pluto return, Now let's look at Kamala. Yeah, let's look at Kamala. Let's do file open. And let's do, let's see, global astrology. Let's open this here. And let's do, let me just scroll down. Let's see here. Politics, where was I? What am I doing? God, I don't even. Where's Kamala? What have I done here? I think I've passed her. Sorry, I'm still in a bit of a daze. Politics, Donald Trump, Ivanka, Joe, Kamala. There we are. I think I was scrolling a bit too fast. All right, this is Kamala's chart, as you can see here. Now, here she is. She is a Gemini rising with Rahu in the first house conjunct the ascendant, yeah? Which is very, very fateful, yeah? Very, 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 very fateful. And it is directly on the Mars of the USA chart, which is why, you know, I thought, you know, she had a chance. But let's look here. Let's just do the compatibility and let's just count up. Yeah, we'll just count up. I've done this already, but some of you watching this may not have seen my predictions video because it was quite a long one. It was an hour and a half, you know, but I had a lot of detail to cover. So if we go here, Declaration of Independence chart, open. All right, here we go. Now, if you look here, do you see her total points with the sun is 21, so it's lower than Trump's. Yeah, so she wasn't winning on that front, and I think the moon score is a bit lower as well. I think it, yeah, I think it is. I can't quite remember now. Anyway, but anyway, so if we look here, we're looking for the closeness of connections and multiples. So if we see one of the exact conjunctions she does have is on the USA's Mars. Yeah, so she certainly deserved to be a contender. Yeah, on the USA's Mars. And then if we look here, she's got quite a close one with the Saturn and the moon. Yeah, not exact, but, you know, pretty close. And if we look here, her K2 is quite close to the USA's rising sign, yeah, of Sagittarius. And here she does have planetary influence over here, where her Rahu is, you know, quite where her Mars is quite close to the Rahu of the United States, which is what the manifest point of destiny. However, Trump was exact. He has got 5 exact placements. Yeah, 5 exact. So here, if we actually count up in terms of the exact ones, she's definitely got her Lagna, her rising sign, and her ascendant conjunct. So you can count that as 2, yeah? And then the other one that is closest is Saturn, but it's not exact. So if I want to be strict in terms of exact alignments, then really she actually has 1. Whereas Trump's got 5. Planetary influence, as in her planets being in the same sign as the USA's chart. Let's just count up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. Trump had 9 planets, but of those 9 planets in terms of being in the same signs and influence, 5 of them were exact. And I think that ultimately is what has done it. The dasha that Trump is in, being in a Jupiter dasha, and him being in a Jupiter dasha and his Jupiter aspecting Jupiter in his D1. And what else? And the Venus being the lord of the 10th house, but being right on his moon, it did help him. So in the end, it did help him. But I think the thing is as well, it's looking like not quite enough female voters came out, and she didn't win over enough of the independents. And I've said that in previous videos. Again, I got stick for it, but I said, look, she has to get, all of the women have to vote for her, and she has to get all the independents, and that didn't happen. And it looks like as well, you know, young Latino men in particular really kind of came out for Trump. So, you know, isn't it interesting? Yeah, these revelations. If we look here, she's got Jupiter. Jupiter is transiting her 12th house. So you see here's Jupiter here, and Uranus is here as well. Now the 12th house is associated with endings, losses. Uranus does deal with sudden shocks and surprises. So here, if we look by transit in terms of the charts, it looks like Jupiter wasn't giving Kamala, Jupiter and Uranus wasn't giving her the boost, yeah, because it was transiting through her 12th house. Whereas for Duck Larange, because he's a Leo rising, that was going through his 10th house, which is the house of career and all of that kind of stuff. So let's see what's going to happen. Yeah, what's going to happen going forward. So if I go again, let's do file open, and let's look at that Declaration of Independence chart. Yeah, let's actually look at that. Here we are. And let's discuss that as part of the close. There are certain things that are going to happen. I said it on Hogarth. I don't think I've said it in that many videos, but I said it on Hogarth, and I think I said it in my prediction as well. I said the war in Ukraine will end, yeah, because of course, you know, I don't know how much of it will go to Russia, but there will certainly be some kind of settlement and stuff like that. And I said when the war does end, it's going to be some kind of legal settlement that will do it. I think at the very least, Ukraine is probably going to have to concede some land, yeah, some land or something like that. But, you know, I'm sure Putin is extremely happy. Like I said, Putinshka has been helping, you know, all the way. Now, if we look here, this is the Declaration of Independence chart. So 4th of July, 1776, using 6:30 p.m. Pennsylvania. There is debate amongst astrologers which is the best chart to use or whatever. This one I find is the best one. It just is. And it was based on this, like I said, in where Trump's planets were joining up. He has the closest alignment with this chart out of all of the candidates. Yeah, he had 5 exact. Tim Walz, though, Tim Walz's one is very strong as well. And maybe Tim Walz could actually become president one day with that chart. He could become president one day. Anyway, the important thing to understand is that Vedic astrology is sidereal. It follows the movement of the stars. You guys who watch me know this, but it bears repeating. The stars are slowly moving backwards by 1 degree every 72 years. Yeah, you might think big whoop, but over time that adds up. Western tropical astrology is still in the old placements of the stars, but they've moved. Yeah, the energy has moved. Yeah, the energy has moved. Anyway, the point is, here in the USA, this is the USA chart. Here you can see the Mars at 0 degrees and 40 minutes. Kamala's ascendant and her Rahu were right on that. So that did give her kind of basically 2 points. But the only other connection that came close was to America's moon. Yeah. So it wasn't enough. When you compare the 2 charts, you can see for yourself, Trump's one was more powerful, and he's been delivered the win. And it's looking like it's actually quite a sizable one. So there's a lot, particularly with the pundits on TV, etc., and all of this kind of stuff. I think a lot of people are going to have to kind of like, you know, reevaluate things. Let's just put it that way. Anyway, what I want to show you, the most important thing to show you is what I've been talking about for a while. As you know, I've been talking about what? The Great Awakening. Now, if I do this here, and if I put in here, and if I put in the 29th of March, 2025, yeah. If I put that in, right, oh, actually, in fact, what I'll do is, oops, if I click on here, 29th of March, 2025, the time has to be a little bit further on. Let's just do 1800. That will definitely put it there. Let's do calculate. Yeah, there it is. So you'll see here, do you remember this big stellium that I've been talking about? Big stellium. Technically, where you've got Saturn, Rahu, Venus, Neptune, Mercury, Sun, Moon, and Chiron, all in sidereal Pisces at the same time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. A planet of a stellium of 8 planets. And do you remember I said this will be seismic for the United States in particular. Because sidereal Pisces sits in the 4th house, what is covered by the 4th house. Yeah, here's the ascendant: 1, 2, 3, 4. And I said something epic, something sizable is going to happen in the homeland in the United States. And I think this is part of the repercussions of that, the ramifications of that. I said with great awakenings, they're not always pleasant. Yeah, think of the revelations that we've had in our life that have led to some kind of spiritual insight or deep insight of some kind. How often are they pleasant ones? Rarely. Yeah, I think what we're having here is, yeah, a great reality check. I said when Saturn comes into sidereal Pisces, I said a great illusion will be popped. Yeah. Something will be popped. There'll be a massive reality check on things. Yeah. So this is going to be very, very interesting. And I think a lot of what happened in 2020 is what has contributed to the result that we have now. I'm not sure if the audience is ready to hear it yet, but you've heard me mention it in many. Those who've been watching me for a long time, you know that I've been speaking about this, and I said I wasn't able to be candid as well at the time because there was so much censorship. But these conversations are going to be had, and they're going to be very difficult conversations. Yeah, the 4th house deals with the homeland. Yeah, a sense of security, how we get our needs met. Deals with real estate. So there is going to be a lot of changes. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of changes in the United States. Given this result, obviously the far right and stuff like that will be emboldened, but not only emboldened, they will feel vindicated. The 4th house also deals with family. Yeah, also deals with family, our sense of security. What did they say in Project 2025? Yeah, they said they're going to do what? The mass deportations and all of this kind of stuff. So I think many of those, particularly of the Latin vote, that voted for Duc Larange, they might be in for some uncomfortable surprises, particularly in regards to their family. Yeah, because if Trump makes good on that promise, then we're probably going to see a lot of families, particularly in the Latin community, being separated. And it's quite interesting because the insults and the various different stuff. I think I said in Hoggerly, but I was watching a news show where it was talking about Latin people. And a lot of them felt that when he was making derogatory comments about Mexicans or, Puerto Rico, which was obviously the most recent one, and other kind of things, they thought he wasn't talking about them. I think he was. Well, not even I think, we know he was. But this might be the time where that Saturn coming in, yeah, popping an illusion, yeah, the planet of reality coming into the 4th house. Could this be when the reality comes home? Yeah, when the reality comes home of the choice that's been made, because they've chosen overwhelmingly. Yeah, chosen. It's not even really that close. Not to be derogatory at all to Kamala. I think she fought the best campaign she could. I thought she came up with an inspirational message. I think she genuinely wants the best for the United States, and she was right, and I think she was correct when she was saying that she would govern for everyone, but not enough people were listening. I think too much people are in pain, economic pain, particularly with all the stuff that happened over the pandemic. So many livelihoods were lost. The irony is that, you know, the wealthiest did actually the best. Trump has made it clear that he wants to support the wealthy, but again, because of those connections with the USA chart, he's been able to convince the ordinary man and woman that he is for them. Many state that he is, but what many people are looking back at, they were just doing the comparison, and apparently 72% of Americans said that they weren't happy with the direction that the country was going in, and that they felt wealthier, that they were wealthier under Trump. That can't be ignored either. Remember what the economic strategist said to Bill Clinton once upon a time? He said, "It's the economy, stupid." Yeah. Again, people vote based on their pocketbooks. So we have to see what will happen here. We also need to talk about BRICS. We also need to talk about BRICS. We also need to talk about the USA dollar. All of things that I've made my videos on. Feel free to go back and look through my back catalogue. But I think this win for Duck L'Orange is part of this great awakening, where I think a lot of people are now really beginning to realize where America is, which is where I strongly suspected all along. Maybe not the most comforting message, and how can I comfort people, right now, particularly with what has just happened. But I thought it was just important to look back over the astrology and just see, and wow, my God, yeah, ascendant and Mars conjunct the star Regulus in the nakshatra of Marga. It did it. Yeah, it did it. And it's going to be very interesting. Will he do absolutely everything he said he would do? That remains to be seen. But they've made it very clear, haven't they, in Project 2025, they want to get rid of the Department of Education, etc., all of this stuff. Let's hope it's not the complete dismantling of democracy. But I'll also say as well, the one that they really, really want is J.D. Vance. That's the one they really want. And if Trump blocks them, then he'll be found at the bottom of the stairs, like I said, yeah, because J.D. Vance is the anointed priest that they want. And now he's in one of the most powerful positions in government. So this is extraordinary. We'll have to see, but here it is, folks. I think I'll leave it there because I don't want to drag on too much. But I think it was important to put up this video for, why Duck L'Orange won. And I think those are powerful arguments for why. And when you compare Kamala to Trump, his chart is the stronger one. And actually, when it comes to leaders, that's how it works in Vedic astrology. Whoever has the closest match. So, yeah, there we are. There we are. We have to see what happens. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. And maybe what people might want to do moving forward. But I understand for a lot of people, it's going to be, this is devastating news. And it's going to affect a lot of people's mental health, I think. It's going to affect a lot of people's mental health. But, it is what it is. Pluto return, Pluto in Capricorn, guys. Yeah, Pluto in Capricorn, that huge stellium coming up. Many revelations to come. Prepare yourselves. Yeah, prepare yourselves. But I think so much of what happened in 2020, 2021, and those years, those pandemic years, I think this is the fruit that has been born of that. And we're going to have a honest and frank conversation about that and what happened. But that is going to be something that is going to come up. But with the Latin vote, you know, they came out for him, but they might be quite surprised in the way that that manifests, unless Trump, as he's so Uranian, he's so unpredictable. Who knows what he's going to do? All people can hope is that he doesn't enact all the things that he said he will, but that remains to be seen. So I will leave it there, folks. I wish I could be more hopeful with the message, but I had to go into that granular detail there as to why things have happened as they have. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and share this video if you want to help other people understand why that this has happened. But there you are. Yep, he had the stronger chart at the end of the day, and that close alignment right with the zeitgeist and psyche of Americans, and the most of them, they went for him. Yeah, and that's the reality. All right, I will leave it there. All right. Oh, if I can even end the thing, go and end the